Everyone, to the Employee Service Awards. I want to begin by wishing everyone a happy holiday season, great new year. I want to thank the great people that put this together. Paul and Amanda, you guys do a wonderful job. Can we give them a round of applause? Grace gives me all these little housekeeping tips that I have to say, and there's disciplinary action that follows for me if I don't follow.
You like that best, right?
Yes, of course. It's like being home. So, if at the end of this, one representative from each department would go down to personnel to pick up the gifts for the 5- and 10-year employees, that would be wonderful as well. I wanted to begin by saying that we're celebrating today 1,580 years worth of county service. That's a remarkable number. Freddie Newber, who is not here this morning, is a 40-year employee. Wow. I was 2 years old when he started. We have three 35-year employees. Joyce Gold, Claudette Jennings, and Kevin Devine. And we have 5 30-year employees. We have Mary Holland, we have Brian Schubert, we have Cam Walker, and Michael O'Neill, Dave Johnson, and Olga Burns. Isn't that great? Before I start with the awards, I just wanted to say one thing. You know, I've been here for 21 years. And it's been, you know, a great place for 21 years to work, and I hope to go at least another 4. But you know, as all of us have that are here this morning, because most of us have been here really a long time. See a lot of people here. You know, we've seen a number of freeholders, you know, serve and move on, and one of the freeholders that's going to be leaving us at the end of the year is Freeholder Schrier. You know, I remember hearing the name first at the firefighters convention in Cape May one year from the Mendon Township guys when Jack was going to become a freeholder, and I got to know Jack throughout the years. And every freeholder, of course, has their passions and leave legacies, and Jack is no different. My first interaction with Jack was when I think he was the transition liaison to welfare, when welfare ceased being. Edie Chup is here smiling. Maybe some of the OTAPS people remember when welfare stopped being an independent autonomous agency and moved into the county. Jack kind of smoothed that.
1999.
And I also remember, you know, you always have great memories of people, and I remember being in Rockaway Township one evening when St. Clair's was going to, announcing it was shutting down Dover General Hospital. And it was a room full of angry people there, and I think the CEO at the time was there, and she was going to explain her position of why she was doing that, and of course no one wanted to hear that, and I remember Freeholder Schrier at the time stood up and was able to calm the whole group down. I think of all of his skills, I always felt that communicating was the superior skill. But I think as Jack, you know, moves on, you know, where's Frank Pinto? I mean, look at, you know, whenever I drive, I was thinking this last week when I'm driving down to Trenton, 579, you drive down here and you see those farmland preservation signs, and I think of Jack no matter what county I'm in. But as you move on, it's the farmland preservation, you know, the open space, the historic pres, the MUA, the Park Commission, recyclables. I mean, you know, his contribution to the county is tremendous. And will live on way past all of our lifetimes, and we will really miss his wisdom and his knowledge and his way to solve and mediate problems. I'll miss him personally because I think he was a great mentor, and I've always trusted his knowledge, and I've always enjoyed working with him. And Jack, I think we're all going to miss you, and I'd like you to join me in a round of applause.
Thank you. What can I say after that? It's very difficult to talk about yourself. It's much easier to talk about somebody else. I did everything that you've said, and there were a few other things that you left out, but it's okay.
In the interest of time.
I was thinking of something that Monsignor Brown said last September when we had the September 11th Memorial Celebration at the memorial on Hanover Avenue. And Monsignor Brown touched me deeply as he gave the benediction before the end of the ceremony, when he recalled that it was I who initiated the idea of having a memorial for September 11th victims in Morris County. And you try to say to yourself, what can I leave behind? How can I leave this county a better place than I found it when I arrived here? And you can't come up with an answer at the time, but things do offer themselves as opportunities. And while I hate to think of September 11th as an opportunity of any kind, it turned out to be the opportunity to have some lasting testament to those innocent victims who died on September 11th, who must not ever be forgotten. We just recently passed December 7th as a date, and when I was a boy, it was a date that will live in infamy because it was a treacherous attack on the United States by then the Empire of Japan. Yet many people didn't notice December 7th this year. Time has a way of softening things and even healing wounds. In some cases, the wounds should not be healed. They should be left open. They should be left bleeding a little bit so that you remember. And I hope that that forgetfulness never happens to the September 11th, 2001 date. We have images in our head of what happened that day, and we can't get those out. They're in our minds and our recollection, and as long as we live, we will always have those with us. And that, I think, is one of the most significant things that I like to be associated with from Morris County. But everything else that you've said is also true. So, changing welfare into a county agency was a difficult thing, and I was told by some of my colleagues, that was my first year as freeholder in 1999. I had just been elected the previous year. And I was told by some of my colleagues that this needed to be done. And I said, well, I don't know much about welfare at this point. Let's get into it and see what happened. And by the time half a year had gone by, I realized that they were right and it needed to be done. And if I did it with a certain amount of sensitivity, and I hope some grace, it was done not because of any calculation on my part. It's the way I am. And I have thought about that too. We all think about why we are the way we are. I had the wonderful good luck and blessing to have a father and a mother who were like that. And while I never wanted to be like my father when I was a kid, I always wanted to be like my father when I grew up. And I think that if he were alive today, he would be very proud. And I'm very proud to realize that maybe I have made him proud. So thank you all for everything. I love being a freeholder. I really am going to miss it as much as John says he will miss me. I will miss being a freeholder more. And you've all been a part of this. I thank you all for helping me proudly tell people that I'm a Morris County freeholder, because everyone has always said, Morris County is so great, and it's you who have made it great and make it great. Thank you all very much.